Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Missionary Box Podcast. I got my dear childhood friend here, Jamason Blair. A little bit of backstory. JMO and I go way back to third grade? Fourth grade?
Yeah, whenever you moved to Southern California.
Third grade, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we've been friends for a long time. We have a lot of cringy moments together, a lot of good growing up moments at Boy Scout camps. We just go way back. We go way back.
Yeah, lots of good memories for sure.
And JMO had a unique mission, and I wanted to have him hop on the podcast because he had 3 missions in his 2 years. Some of it was because of COVID, some of it because it was visa stuff, so we'll dive into that. But just super excited to have Jamason on. Thank you for hopping on. This is going to be a freaking blast. How did you feel before you even opened up your call? What was going through your head?
So fun story about getting my call. I got it when I wasn't home. I was visiting a buddy up in Northern California when I got the text or the email.
Oh, man, yeah.
And I was like, crap. And I didn't look at it. It was really hard not to.
Yeah, you're I just want to know.
I know. I was like, it's right here. No one's stopping me. But I waited a 24 hours because I was flying home that day. So the whole time it was kind of building up to that. I really didn't know what to expect. But it was stressful, but I felt good about it. I feel like when you know you're doing what the Lord wants you to do, you just have that confidence. And I think that describes my whole mission. It was crazy. Yeah, I had 3 missions, but I think overall I was pretty confident, of what would happen. I just knew that it was in the Lord's hands. I was doing what I needed to be doing, so I wasn't too worried.
Yeah. And I remember being there when you opened up your call.
Yeah, of course.
Your reaction was priceless. Open up Zimbabwe. This man went to freaking Zimbabwe on his mission. That's crazy. Do you even know where Zimbabwe was when you first opened up the call?
No idea. I said the city. I mean, everyone says, if you don't know where it is, you usually say, this country or city wrong, right? Totally said it wrong.
What'd you say?
So the mission was the Zimbabwe Harare Mission. I said, Harare or something. It's not horribly wrong.
Mine was worse. I went to New York, Syracuse. I said Cycros.
Yeah, opening that call was crazy. I didn't really know what to expect. Had to, everyone had searching on my phone, figure out where I was going. But I think the thing that I was most confused about was so I opened it in June of 2019, and I left in November of 2019. So I had a really big gap. Just graduated high school. It was the end of June, I opened it. So I was like, dang, what am I gonna do till middle of November? I have no idea. But I did grow a really strong testimony of timing of everything. And I think that's something that everyone should remember. Whether you things got delayed, you weren't able to get out as quickly as you wanted, you went out maybe earlier than you expected, oh my goodness, this is just the right timing. Just know that it's in the Lord's hands. I think I met the right people, I had the right trainers. You met the certain people that you wouldn't have met otherwise, your mission president maybe, other certain companions that wouldn't have been there a year later or something. So I think everything works out the way it was supposed to, and especially with everything that happened.
You had a crazy mission.
Yeah.
I love hearing that though, because it makes me so happy to hear return missionaries say, my mission was tailored for what I needed. Mm-hmm. And I have such a testimony that is so true. What you, not only the area you're called to, the mission president, your trainer, all of your companions, they're there to change your life, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes such a big difference with the timing and everything. I think it's so cool to have that perspective. If you're crap, well, I got my call and I have to wait for a fat minute.
Yeah.
There is a purpose for it, and you're going to learn later on down the road.
Yeah, and it's hard to remember, but I feel like I can remember that now. When things aren't happening maybe when I want it to, or I'm not really sure, it's nice to just know if you're trying to stay on the covenant path, things will work out.
Yeah, it just will.
You work hard, you do what you can, and the Lord will steer you in the right direction. So it's really nice, especially in this crazy world. So
I love it. Okay, so you go to the MTC.
Yeah, so even there was already a change. I was supposed to go to the South Africa MTC.
Okay.
So my visa didn't come in time, so I actually went to the Provo MTC, which was amazing. Loved it there. Again, met people I don't think I would have met otherwise. Maybe helped shape who I was. Just little things like that, You're I was supposed to go there, but I went here, so kind of starting the whole, I went somewhere else. So I didn't get my visa while I was in the MTC for those 3 weeks. So I pulled up my missionary portal because they said you could check where you were going. And I was going to the North Dakota Bismarck Mission. And I was like...
North Dakota!
I was like, North Dakota? I was like, what? I feel like I sort of say it in the way they say North Dakota. It always is like tries to come out of me. Even though I was there, so I was only there to transfer, but it was actually like awesome. I loved it. I loved my trainer. I had 3 companions at one time. We were a quad companionship. It was a lot going on.
That sounds
awesome.
epic.
But yeah, the climate was crazy. Not what I expected. So my parents and I had to like get snow boots and bigger, like a scarf and beanie and a bunch of stuff. Because if you don't know, in December in North Dakota, it's
crazy.
It's freezing. Like most of the Midwest, in the wintertime it gets cold, and North Dakota is very flat, so the wind just cuts through you. There's nothing to block it, so it can get like negative degrees really easily with the wind.
That's crazy.
But I was in the Fargo area, which is near North Dakota State University. So we were kind of like working with the college kids, but not in a YSA. But we would go on campus a lot and try to help like recruit, not recruit, that's the wrong word. We would like sit on the buses, like take the bus route and like kind of just follow the college students around, talk to them. And one funny story was I was sitting there, I didn't have gloves yet. And it's freezing outside.
Like
didn't have gloves on.
Snowing.
I didn't have, I probably could have borrowed some, but I didn't have gloves on. I'm sitting on the bus next to this college student, of course. She has like the beanie on, the gloves, like really decked out. She's like, you don't have gloves on. I was like, yeah, I don't have gloves. I'm working on it. But it was like it was a fun interaction. I was able to probably hand out a pass-along card or something. But
yeah,
it was just funny. I bet other missionaries relate to this, but like the first couple, at least like first transfers feel like so long. So I feel like I was in North Dakota forever.
Yeah.
But I learned
there for 2 transfers.
1 transfer. I learned like a couple days after I got there, like, oh, we got your visa processed and everything, so you're leaving in January. So that was kind of hard because I was like not super invested.
Yeah.
To a point, just because I knew I would only be there a month.
Yeah.
But it was nice to celebrate Christmas in the States and stuff like that. So that was my North Dakota part.
There you go.
Freezing. Don't recommend visiting there in winter. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's craziness. Unless you have family there or a reason to go there for the holidays or something.
Yeah, have a reason.
Have a reason to go to North Dakota during the winter.
Mission, family.
You go out into the airport and you're in Africa.
Yeah.
Did it feel like Africa? I don't know what Africa would feel like. I've never been. Like, what was going through your mind? You're like, I'm in Africa. Like.
Yeah, it was crazy. I got there at night, which I don't really think helped.
Okay.
I wish I got there during the day so I could like see more. But no, the first 24 hours were a blur just because I got picked up by the assistants and a couple other missionaries that were new and just went back to their place, slept, and then the next day was transfers. So yeah, Zimbabwe's very green. Not many trees where I was. I was kind of outside of Harare. It was my first area. So a lot of cornfields, like just corn everywhere. Maize is what they call it there. But really hilly, like muddy, just corn. That's about it. Just corn and some trees every once in a while. Zimbabwe has some really cool like safari areas. I unfortunately never got to like get to any of that stuff just because COVID happened. Because I was only there for 3 months, not even 3 months. So I have to go back and visit and see the safari areas someday. But yeah, it was awesome. I don't know what else you want to know about Zimbabwe because there's a lot.
You were called English speaking, right?
Yeah, but not really. It's like different English, first off, because English is like their first language, but not really. Like they learn it in school because Zimbabwe was once the colony Rhodesia, which was a British colony. So they have a lot of those British cultural things, like driving on the other side of the road, steering on the other side in the car.
Yeah.
Calling cookies biscuits, like certain just phrases.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like acclimating to just things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just getting used to their dialect, which is called Shona. So that's what they like. That's like what we would be probably speaking right now to each other. Like if I saw you on the road, you're my buddy, we probably wouldn't speak in English just because English really comparatively is slower and they're not as good at it and it is more syllables. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people spoke that language. So I felt like I was in a in a different country.
Because they were speaking.
Definitely because of the language. And then I felt like I had to learn that language to a point just so I could like socially interact.
What is like a normal thing you'd say in Shona as a missionary?
I felt more accepted if you spoke their dialect.
Okay.
I bet some missionaries can relate to that. Like if you speak their language, obviously they like you a little bit more. So like a normal, like Makadi was a very normal.
Makadi?
Yeah, Makadi was very normal. To like if people were walking on the streets next to us, and like a cultural thing was like men to do this. I don't know why. I made like a little clapping noise.
Makadi!
Yeah, Makadi.
Yeah.
And then the like if it was a lady back, they'd say Dedipo, which means like kind of acknowledging what they were saying. I honestly don't know what it all meant. I just was saying
You were just doing it. That's just
accepted.
what you do when you learn a language.
They'd say Dedipo, Makadi back to you, and then you kind of go from there. And so it was only like little small phrases, I would say. Like Tonana was just like, see you later.
Yeah.
Just certain, like very little phrases. Yeah. Just to like feel more a part of the people.
That's so cool. What was your favorite thing about being in Zimbabwe?
I think just I think a lot of missionaries can relate to this, just gaining a love for the people there. Like, it was so cool to see these people who lived a different lifestyle than us, had different things, different, like, national circumstances. Like, the country as a whole is just
totally different.
Really crazy. It's gone through a lot of ups and downs the last 10, 20 years or so. Most of its independence. It's just been up and down with leaders and things like that. So it was really cool just to see how they still were so happy and just living life and living the gospel, even though their lives were so much different. And they were living in like paycheck to paycheck type of deal. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool just to see where happiness comes from and like that real source of it, and not what you get and how much you have. Really just the family that they cherish and their communities. So it was really cool. I think that's a big takeaway I had from it, was just the kindness that they felt towards me as well was amazing. Just how well they treated me just as a missionary. Because I definitely felt like that kind of, almost like a switch went off where I was like kind of a minority at this point. Because I definitely stood out. Yeah. Anyone who was white definitely stood out there more. Yeah. So I just was really appreciative of the love they showed. There's a lot of Christ-like love from the members, which was super cool. And just Zimbabwe as a people, lot of religious groups. I think most Africa is very religious and has a lot of those Christian values. So churches everywhere, like congregations were everywhere in the fields. So it was really cool to see like just a really faith-based faith-based country, honestly. Really lots of great people. So that was super cool.
I love that. Were you mainly in branches or wards?
So I was there from middle of January to the end of February. So not that long, honestly. Not that long. Like when I think about it, like that really isn't.
But it felt like a long time.
Yeah, it was a transfer in like a week, almost a week or it was. Wait, I have this backwards. End of March. It was the end of March. Wow. Yeah. So I was there from the middle of January to the end of March, because that's like when all the COVID stuff happened, was in March. So it was like 2 transfers. And the whole time I was just with my trainer, because again, like you said, you have your training, your first 2 transfers, but I basically restarted again once I got there, because there's so much to learn. So I was with my trainer again for 2 transfers. And we were in a branch. So small little branch outside of the city of Harare. It was called the Quadzana 3rd branch. I know it's Quadzana. I don't know if the number's correct, but amazing people. Love my branch president. Such a good dude. His name was President Samakomva. It was really hard to pronounce for a little bit and write it down. Yeah. Amazing family, though. Super fun. He had us over all the time for food, and that was really nice. But the work was good. Like, even though our area wasn't very big, there's a lot to do. It was like I tracked for a little bit, not what I did a lot. The rest of my mission when COVID happened, but tracked a little bit, door knocked, stuff like that. So really cool to see some miracles that happened from that, but I was totally lost. My trainer was good at pushing me, though, outside of my comfort zone. Made me like learn the area, like said, okay, where's this person's house? Like, you need to know where so-and-so lives. So I had to like kind of start remembering things, remembering people's names.
You can't use Google Maps, really.
No, we still had the paper planners and...
Dude! That is
just the little Nokia phones. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I say that, and now everyone's like, "Oh, you're ancient," but it's just
no. I went to Africa.
Yeah, like
That's
you had
crazy.
the ancient paper planners, but a lot of that's like when the church was transitioning over to all the digital stuff. So we were gonna get it. If I served there the rest of my time, I probably would have transitioned to those.
Yeah.
But
Now, if you feel comfortable with talking about it, but so your brother, Caden, was in my seminary class. My mom was a seminary teacher, and he came in like crying one day. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, Caden, what's up, bro? And he just said, like, JMO almost died. And I was like, what? And I was like, is this clickbait? Like, what is Caden doing? Like, is he doing a prank? Because Caden's a goofy kid, you know?
He is.
And so... and then we got to hear the story, but I think we better hear the story from you rather than me telling what I heard about it. But
yeah, it was crazy. It was like looking back though, like to preface it all, it was a really cool experience actually. Like after the fact, like just the amount of love I felt and all the support I got, and then all the just people that reached out to me, and then also just the power of like the atonement, just like being able to forgive the people that hurt me, and also the like just that peace I felt the whole time, like it was crazy. It definitely was an amazing experience. But yeah, I was coming home from P-Day because we had to take a bus into town and come back. So we were just getting off the bus. It was like a rainy day, and it was sort of dark, which was our first mistake. We should have probably gotten back a little bit earlier, just because that was kind of the usual thing. I tried to get in before the sun went down, just because.
it's safer.
Yeah, a little bit safer, and just there's not like lights everywhere, so it's hard to navigate back. But yeah, we were just walking home, and then everything went black. That was about it. I just bonk. So we got after the fact, we learned we got both hit on the head. I still don't know with what necessarily, but me and my companion both got knocked out. Main thing that we got targeted for was our groceries. We had like groceries in our hands, so they took like our groceries and then took most of our clothing on us, and my shoes especially, which was kind of a bummer. Biggest bummer was like my journal I had, because I took it to write my email. Like I usually wrote down stuff in it. So then I was like, you try to remember what you did your week. It's like a blur as a missionary. You're like, I don't remember what I did Tuesday last week. So I lost my journal for like those first 4 or 5 months, which was a big bummer. But yeah, basically by the end of it all, somehow me and my companions got split up during that time. He got like thrown in bushes, like they just tossed him off to the side after they took what he had, and they kind of did the same to me. Somehow, like miraculously, I remember just like finding someone to help me somewhere in the middle of the road, and then he was able. That's all very blurry, but he found my companion for me, and we met back up with each other, which was really good. We were both losing it and crying, and but we were able. Those people were angels, honestly, like 100%. Like I don't know what I would have done otherwise, but they helped us. They helped drive us to my branch president's house, who lived not too far away, because we weren't far from home where it happened, just on the main road, a little bit in the cornfields. So drove us to our branch president's house. We got in contact with the mission president, and then he took us to the hospital. But yeah, it looked kind of messed up. My pants were all ripped up because I think I got dragged around a little bit. The blood from like my head was like just covered all my mission clothes. Yeah, it just ruined my shirt and tie, which was a bummer. I liked that tie. So yeah, it was crazy. We didn't spend the night in the hospital, but got stitched up and then taken back to my mission president's house, where we stayed for about a week, just recovering and healing up, because my face was also all swollen. I think I got punched a couple times in the face. I don't know.
They're just going crazy.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate experience, but yeah, like I said, it was really hard for my family, which I totally get, just because I was super far away and they couldn't do anything about it. But like I said, overall, like it was a really cool experience. Like how quickly we healed. Like we were good to go back out, like not even a week, like about a week later, like on that. So that was on a Monday, and that Sunday we went to my branch. Like we went back to my branch. Like, my face was a little scabbed up still, and our heads were kind of shaven, and so I just wore a hat. But like we were good to go back to our branch. And so that was really comforting, I think, for the branch just to see us there, because everyone heard about it, obviously.
Yeah.
It spread like wildfire that those two guys in white shirts aren't here anymore that got attacked or something. I don't even know how the news got out. Who knows, But it was a really cool experience. And looking back, I'm like, you're not glad bad stuff happens, but it's just, it was cool how much it helped me, like, gain a love almost more for the people because of how much love they showed us as the missionaries. And it really helped us, like, a finding opportunity to a point, because a lot of people wanted to talk to us about...
Hear how you're doing.
Yeah. A lot of people thought we were different missionaries. They're like, we heard about, like, 2 of your friends got attacked up the road, and we were like, that was us.
That's us. Actually, look at this.
Yeah. which I didn't want to, like, be like, hey, it's actually us. And yeah, but it was so pranked. It was us. But, because I think people, like, thought we died or something. So... it was just a really cool experience. I think the branch it was a good uniting moment for the branch to come together and help us. And one thing they'll always say down to me, like, makes me almost tear up every time, was a lady, like, saying, sorry you'll remember our country this way. Like, that was in church. And I was like, dang. I was like, that does hit. Because that's, like, what I'll mostly remember from my time here. And I know that's not what she was an older lady, so I knew she really meant it. And she didn't want me to remember their country like that, because that's not what they wanted to. But I don't remember like that.
I know you.
It's a part of it.
Well, the fact that you want to go back.
Yeah, I would want to go back.
I think you want to go back to Zimbabwe more than North Dakota.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe for the safari land instead of the flat tundra. But no, it was a good experience overall. But just, a challenging one for sure.
Well, I love what you said earlier about, like, before you even shared. You said that it helped you grow closer to the Savior. Like, how did this experience help you grow closer to Him?
Just, overall feeling the love from everybody, feeling that really charitable love from my family back home, friends, people emailing me, and then the branch there was really cool. A really special experience just to, because sometimes I think the adversary tries to make us feel alone and like we're alone. But when moments like this happen, I think you really see, like, wow, a lot of people actually really do care about me. So, not like it was just all about me, but I think that was a cool, like, kind of thing just to see, have that opportunity to feel that much charity was really cool. And then to express it too, to just be so thankful for the people that helped me, and to express that gratitude. Just thank you so much for helping me and being here for me was just a good uniting experience. And then, like I mentioned a little bit before, just that atoning power, just knowing that the Savior has experienced all the pain that I've felt as well as everyone else in the world. Just knowing that He knew how I felt in that moment. He knew the grief and the struggles and how my family was feeling. I think really helped me just feel okay during that time. Like, I felt like He was there with me throughout the whole experience, and that the Spirit was really strong. I felt comforted. I didn't really feel, like, scared or worried or super afraid of what was coming next or what was going to happen, because everything on the table was then, like, am I going to stay in Zimbabwe? Like, should I go to a different mission? Like how am I going to react, like, down the road from this? Am I going to have, like, some traumatic, like, feelings about some, like, being in the dark or something like that at night, or like, all that stuff? But I think the atonement of Christ, like, definitely increased my healing physically and spiritually and emotionally, which helped me, continue to serve for the next month while I was there.
That's beautiful. What with stuff like trauma and stuff, how did you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I think a big part of it was, again, just that atoning power coming in, very, very helpfully. The mission provided, like, a therapist, if you will, who checked in on me often just to ask how I was doing, which was very helpful. I mean, I like talking about stuff in general, so it helped a lot for me, at least. I think everyone's different of how they should deal with certain things, but at least talking about it and with someone I could trust, and talking about it with my mission president helped a lot for me. And then just that time with the atonement. I think the atonement takes time for things to heal, whatever time frame that is for the Lord's time frame. Thankfully for me, I think I guess I was supposed to keep serving. That's what the Lord wanted me to do, so I was able to heal maybe quicker than others might.
Yeah.
Again, it just varies, but it was just really cool to be okay enough to keep serving and to testify of that atoning power to the members and to the people I was teaching, just because I think it was definitely more strong in that moment, just because I had that experience pretty recently. So it was overall, that trauma I think is different for everybody, but I know the atonement is there for everyone, whatever that may be, time-wise. For me, I'm grateful it was quick.
Yeah.
So I could keep serving, but yeah, just trust in the time frame of the Lord and rely on that atonement, just as long as you have that faith in it, and have a priesthood blessing, do what you can to talk about it if that's what you're comfortable with, but don't get hard on yourself for like not feeling okay enough. I think I was definitely hard on myself for like that first month or so, just like, why do I keep thinking about this at night? Like, I should be over it. It's over. So yeah, I think just relying on the atonement, trusting with people you trust will always help.
That's so good. I love that. And now that you had this testimony of Jesus Christ, now you're like, you already had this testimony, but you get this ultimate experience where you said you were able to testify more about it. They gave you an opportunity to go home then, or to keep on serving, and you said, I'm going to keep on serving, and then COVID said otherwise.
Yeah.
And so you went home because of COVID, and so you had like your intermission, and for a bit. How long was that?
I was home for like a month and a half, like a transfer.
So transfer at home?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
had like 2 transfers at home.
You basically had 4 missions. You had the home mission for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
That's crazy. And so it sounds like 1 transfer in North Dakota, one and a little bit more of transfer of Zimbabwe, transfer of home, and then you got called to Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Good old Mesa, Arizona. I was kind of surprised almost then, just because I was like, oh, it's just like right over there. I have some family who live in that area, so that was kind of funny to me. But yeah, I left there in June, so once again, just like peak climate opportunity for North Dakota and for Mesa, in the 100-degree heat there. But yeah, I know for you, the mission changed a lot differently than when we thought, kind of back in the day with COVID. But yeah, Arizona was awesome. I was there from June 2021 to the end of my mission. June 2020 to the end of my mission in November 2021. And it was awesome. Again, crazy love for the people in Mesa. Mesa's kind of like a mini Provo, if you will. Like that area, like Gilbert, Mesa is very heavily populated by members of the church, because that was a member, like that's where church members settled.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Provo is to Salt Lake City. So church buildings everywhere. Our areas we covered, like the wards were tiny, so you usually had like 2 or 3 or 4 wards that you covered just because there was a lot of members. But I loved the commands you meet there. My mission president was amazing. I loved the assignments I had, the missionaries I met. It was just all perfect. And so that's what was also crazy to see, is like those first 6 months were crazy. I was everywhere, didn't get to like settle at all. It was just up and down. Yeah. This mission, now you're home, now you're here. Yeah. It felt like a lot, like if you looked at it from an outside perspective, you're like, this guy's just being ping-ponged everywhere. Yeah. But it really did feel okay. Like it felt all like it was supposed to be, how it was. Unconventional for sure. Stressful, worrisome, but I think by the end of it all, you have that confirmation, like I'm on a mission. The Lord knows what I need to do and where I need to be. So that really helps carry you through the hard times. So yeah, Mesa, it was awesome.
There you go. What would you say to a missionary that was called to an area and then they're ping-ponged like you? Maybe it's only one reassignment, Yeah. Because I had a bunch of friends in my mission that were called to a mission, never even got to serve in that mission. I know you didn't deal with that, but like you dealt with reassignments on reassignments.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say on that? How would you?
Yeah, man, that's always tough just because it's hard to know. Like, it's hard especially just to like feel that acknowledgement, like I'm supposed to be here. Like, am I supposed to be where I am? That's always hard to know, even when you're before your mission or after. You're like, am I doing what the Lord wants me to do? I think that's a question that every like righteous, good seeking person has in their mind. Like, okay, I want to do this, but is it the Lord's like plan for me? Okay, or things like that. But I think just being able to have that, especially when you're on a mission, you can definitely have confidence that wherever you are, you're supposed to be there, which I think is really nice. Because you know you're wearing that tag, you're trying your best to help others come closer to Christ. So wherever that is, just go 100% at it, because you're going to help someone, whether that's yourself or your companion or someone in your ward or branch you're serving in, or the people you actually are going to teach and help come into the church. I think just have that trust in it and pray for that trust, pray for that. I think you get a lot of people, get confirmations in different ways. For me, I have to just kind of just trust in it and just go, and I'll kind of feel it out. Like I'll know if it's right or wrong. But on the mission, you really don't have to worry about knowing if it's right or wrong. Like you're in a ward or branch where you're supposed to be, you're with a companion you're supposed to be. Take it as a learning opportunity, if anything, and just hit the ground running, just go. I think you think about your mission every day to a point. I think about mine in some way every day. Mainly just being jealous of my brother's on one right now. Like, I just loved it so much, and it was really hard. Would I do it again? I don't know. Not like if someone's like, "You're going," I was like, I did my thing, but I'll do that later when I can be old and be a senior missionary or whatever. But I think it's such a good experience. You don't have to worry about a lot. You worry about yourself a little bit, but mostly focusing on who you're teaching and the ward you're serving in. And I think it's such an amazing opportunity just to fully give yourself to consecrate all your time to the Lord is amazing.
It is such a unique experience.
Yeah.
Being a missionary, like food's taken care of, bills are taken care of, your house, almost everything is literally taken care of, except for basically folding your laundry. And you just have time just to like focus on just going to town, doing your best. I love that so much.
Yeah, so just trust it. Just go.
Just go with it. Go with it. Okay. It's fun to look back because in hindsight, you're like, yeah, that was the freaking best.
Oh yeah, 2020.
I needed that. It was awesome.
Always 2020.
I needed the mission, but in the moment, things get kind of blurry. We have a little section on our podcast we call the Gordon B. Hinckley segment. You know the story of Gordon B. Hinckley, where he's on the mission. He writes his dad. He's like, I'm wasting my time and your money. I should go home. This is baloney. That's, of course, paraphrased. But his dad wrote back, forget yourself and get to work. And that's what did it for him. I think for everybody, we all have different things that help us stay on our mission. I think most missionaries, if not all missionaries, have had a thought where they're like, dang, is this the right thing that I should be doing? How did you cope with feelings like that on your mission?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't pinpoint an exact moment where I knew what I was doing was right or that I knew I should be on a mission. I think everyone's experience is different. I just feel like I was blessed just to know I needed to be there. I just didn't really have a doubt that I was supposed to serve a mission, especially when I came home from COVID and had the options to not go back out or wait a year or so. I thought, I was just counseling with my parents. I was like, I set aside these 2 years to do this. I'm just going to do it, whatever that looks like. I just want to do this. So I think I just had that extra confidence and just wanted to do it. And then also just I think throughout it, just the whole time, just the people I met, the experiences I had with the Atonement and helping me be better, helping see that work in other people's lives. I think I just saw those fruits and saw that it was a good thing. So I think that just helped keep those small experiences every day, every week, even if weeks were really hard or a transfer was really hard. I think I just knew I wanted to serve those 2 years. I had that greater why that helps push my whole mission. So I think everyone just has to find that, at least that's what we talked about in our mission. Like, what's your why? Like, why are you serving a mission?
Yep.
And so whether you find that while you're on your mission, that's, you had that act of faith to get there in the first place. That's awesome. Whether you find it before, I think just a lot of small things just added up to help me keep going. Reading the book more every day, knowing it was true, knowing the restoration was real, like feeling that spirit when you testify of Joseph Smith's experience. Just little things every day would help me know that I needed to be there. For most of 2021, I was a social media leader.
Yes, social media buddies.
Yep, we have that together, which was really cool. I remember telling you, like, how cool is it that we're, like, working with cameras and editing and lighting and whatever when we did that in high school together. Yeah. Much better at it than I am, obviously.
Oh, no. Well, the funny thing is we grew up making cringy YouTube videos together. Yeah. They're on the internet still.
Yeah, don't show the B-roll.
We're not going to show them. If you look them up, you will find them. But, yeah, dude, good memories, good times. It's cool to see how the Lord can consecrate the things that you're interested and passionate about, and you've already spent time and energy working on, those talents that you've developed, to hasten the work. And I think it's cool that we're seeing more and more missionaries having the flexibility to do that, and how it's making an impact not only on the scale, the local community scale, but on the entire world, like reaching tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's super cool. So, yeah, I helped run our Facebook page and organize the content and give trainings to the missionaries how to do stuff. Definitely not what I really thought I would be doing. Again, like, the mission totally changed for you and I with COVID and all those initiatives being brought in with social media. But it was a really cool opportunity to kind of help try to pioneer it and work. And I think the coolest thing we did overall as a mission, it was called the Why I Believe Firesides. So every month there would be recent converts sharing their testimonies in like a fireside format, and then our mission president would speak. So it was a really great opportunity to invite people that we were teaching, like recent converts, less actives, things like that too. Super cool, just a like really good testimony building experience because someone just like joined the church or just came back to church. So it was really, and then our mission president like shared a very basic teaching about the gospel of Jesus Christ. So it was really cool to have those live streamed on our Facebook page to share with people. We had a concert every month outside the Mesa temple. So the temple was in the background, and we, a lot of members helped us like get microphones and equipment. We had a lot of musical talent in our mission, so we were able to showcase that with a live stream.
You did your like music videos pretty frequently too.
Yeah, we used music a lot in our mission, just because we had so many talented artists. I even called them like artists, because one guy we worked with the most is in a band called The Happy Return. Pretty popular Carlsbad band.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So he was in my mission, and we were able to work with him. He wrote like original church songs, like church like lyrical songs, and we were able to film him and post those up. That was like a big focus of what I did, was like film music videos. And were they great? No, but they worked. And we just had so many resources that made it work, like studios to record the audio in, so it wasn't just like off of our phone and mix things and master it. So it was, again, so cool. Such a crazy experience. Like, definitely not how I thought I'd be helping gather Israel in the side of the veil, but super cool to help work on music videos, because we kind of did growing up. So it was cool to do it for the Lord's purposes. It was really fun.
I love that. I like what you said, because I think a lot of missionaries that served during COVID or anytime recently can all agree, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what the Lord wanted. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a connection here that makes a big difference. Like, you don't know what you're getting into. No one knows what they're getting into. And I think COVID was a dramatic, clickbaity way of changing up the mission in a way that people were like, oh, that's a little bit different, you know? Yeah. But whether you're serving in COVID or not, you're going to have an experience where it's like, I was not prepared for this. I don't even know what I'm doing. True. And I think even at the end of your mission, you still have no clue what the crap you're doing. The thing is, the missionaries, like when you're a trainee, you're looking at like the assistants or all these missionaries. Like, dang, that's a seasoned missionary. They don't know what the crap they're doing either. They just have figured out how to fake it a little bit more, you know? Mm-hmm. And so if if you're just about to go on a mission and you're going to have the deer in the headlights moment where you show up at zone conference, you're like, these all people know what they're doing. No one knows what you're doing. Even as an RM, you still don't know what you're doing. But that's life. But I think we're all progressing, and it's the little wins that keep you going. And counting those wins makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I think taking, like, after the mission, big part of it too is, like, what is my why now? Mm-hmm. What are my, you still have those, like, plans and goals for your future. Yeah. And also your daily stuff. That doesn't go away, by the way. Don't think you're done with planning your days and weeks. Cause
we were just talking about this the other day.
I, like, thought it wasn't that great when I got home. I was like, pfft. And then you get back and you're like, wait, I have, like, a lot of school assignments. I need to figure, like, when I need stuff to do and when to study for certain things. You still do it.
You got your magic $1 whiteboard, right?
Yeah.
Dollar Tree whiteboards. You go for it.
Write out your to-do list.
It's so nice.
Use a calendar, whatever you want.
It's so good.
It's helpful.
It's true.
But not just that planning side of things for the mission, but overall, the mission was awesome. It was crazy, but such a good time. Met amazing people, made friends that I'll have for my lifetime, and it's just amazing. It just went by so fast. So if you're on your mission, cherish it. It's so awesome. Just live it up. Give it all to the Lord. Just, like, whatever. It goes by quick. It doesn't feel like it will, but it does. Mm-hmm. I wish I gave up more things and devoted more of my time. I think everyone feels like that, though. So it was awesome. My testimony to the Savior and the restored church couldn't be denied after that. I mean, obviously I need to keep my testimony strong, but just if I remember those experiences, they're just amazing. And just seeing that change in people's lives, the power of the Book of Mormon in people's lives, seeing how much it changed me and made me feel closer to Heavenly Father was an amazing, special experience. So just take it in stride, keep going. It's an awesome experience.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Okay, I want you to do something.
Yes.
Pretend that this camera is your brother Caden that's currently serving in Georgia.
The
one and only Elder Blair. He's got a few more months left on his mission. What would you say if he was in this room and he had a few more months to go? What's your little pep talk to just keep on grinding?
Looking at him in the camera?
Yeah.
Well, I know already that he's amazing at what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's an amazing missionary. He's so personable. He just makes you. Everyone loves the kid.
Yeah.
It's almost annoying how much you like him. So keep doing what you're doing, dude. I know you're killing it. I love talking to you every week. Just work harder than you ever have before. I think the last 6 months are, like, really hard because you kind of start to, you start thinking about what you're doing when you're getting at home, and you're kind of excited, a little trunky, stuff like that, which is normal.
Yeah.
Like, don't beat yourself up for feeling that way. Everyone's excited about the next steps of life.
Mm-hmm.
But still just focus on what you're going to do for your area. Share all your wisdom with your trainees or your companions and what you've learned. Keep doing that small, rigorous, like, daily schedule stuff. Helps a lot, especially those last 6 months. So just keep doing that, bro. I know you're gonna finish strong. Study your Spanish so you actually can speak the language a little bit better. You're pretty good at it now. So just keep going, though. But I just know you're amazing. Everyone loves you. You're so personable. So just keep trusting in what you can do, and just finish strong. I know you will. So
awesome, sweet. Thank you so much, JMO, for hopping on the podcast.
Course,
this was freaking so fun. Fun to hear more of the stories, because I feel like one thing that I love about this podcast is whether or not anyone's listening to it or not. Like, even if no one watches this video, having it, like, this is something that we can put on our family tree one day, the family search app.
Family search.
Like, I'm remembering, like, and when you tell stuff, it makes me remember stories that I forgot.
Yeah, no, this has helped a ton with me, like, just remembering all the amazing stuff that's happened. And that's what the Book of Mormon says a lot. You got to remember.
Remember.
It's hard, but I think if we do, we can remember those spiritual moments we've had, and it helps us each and every day. So this has been awesome for me too. So I hope it helps, not just me, but other people if they want to listen. If not, help me. So
let's go.
So that's cool, I guess.
Awesome, sweet. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. as always, if something touched you or made you think of somebody or something to do, just act on whatever the Spirit told you to do as you listen to JMO's stories and experiences and testimony. And if you feel like this can help benefit a missionary that's currently serving, you can send them the link. Most missionaries have Facebook access, so you can send them the Facebook link. Don't send them a YouTube link; they won't be able to access it. But thank you everyone for watching, and I don't have an outro. What should our outro be?
On the spot, that's tough. Stay strong, elders and sisters.